All right, so I got another one incoming, and I don't know how y'all are gonna feel about this, but
I already barely accepted the first one. This is gonna be fascinating.
Yeah. So another thing I really fucking hate, and I understand the urge. I get why people do it. I know what the thinking is, but you gotta when you get to this place, you need to take a pause when you're a player. I hate when players, the first thing they do is run straight to the craziest fucking idea and then look for the homebrew or start hacking to reinforce their crazy fucking idea. I hate when they're like, I'm gonna play a half angel, half devil demon god who has the sword of Archias that can cut mountains in half, and I'm going to find a homebrew subclass on D&D fucking homebrewshit.com that'll tell me I can do it, and I'm gonna give it to you, GM, and be like, is this reasonable? Just stop.
You could have just said no homebrew. Like, I think
that shit. Well, it's not just, so that's the thing. The reason I said no homebrew, because it's not just homebrew. New players actually do this more, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say this seems like go on. You know what? Go on.
It is this tendency that a lot of new players want to play this crazy, wacky, woohoo, over the top anime-esque bullshit because of like some movie character or something, and they don't read. Usually when they're doing this, they don't look at the game first. They just say, I want to play Deadpool. How can I play Deadpool? Rather than looking at the game and actually understanding what the game is about and getting a vibe. Like, the first thing they go for is like playing a weird idea or hacking mechanics or doing this or doing like playing outside the standard because they want to feel special and cool, rather than looking at what the game has to offer and coming up with an interesting idea within those constraints. Because, you know, you say to a player, you could do whatever the fuck you want, and then they go, oh, so I can do anything? I want to play God. And it's like, no, you can't play God. What if I play Zeus? It's like, no, you can't, like, just play Zeus. Like,
listen,
you know what I mean?
According to Gary Gygax, if a player comes to your table and asks you to play a dragon, you have to let them play a dragon.
I don't have to let them do shit. He said I could let them.
I could.
But like, the thing
it's
is,
in the rules, therefore it is fact.
It's like the thing where someone's like, all right, I want to play Wolverine, and then they go and find like a Wolverine homebrew instead of thinking about how they could play a barbarian and basically retool it to be Wolverine. You know what I mean? Like,
actually, I find the opposite. I find most players are like, I want to make Wolverine. How can I do it in 5e? And then they do that.
A lot of players run straight to hacking or homebrew though, rather than looking at what's already there and trying to work with it. So a lot of new players are like, no, I need to hack it in so I can have metallic claws and all sort of bullshit.
Well, so I think the thing here is that one thing I think you're both missing is that I've noticed that it primarily comes from new players, like players who know. I just said that
multiple times.
Well, like, because
I said new players multiple times.
I know. I guess I just. Because you said new players and then you said always without saying, I don't know.
I said new players almost always have this tendency. New player. I am talking about new players, and sometimes it's not new players. Well, there's sometimes it's either new players or it's players who have been playing for a really long time and they have this weird urge to like fucking upend the table, you know, metaphorically, not necessarily literally.
I don't know. I feel like if you've been playing for so long that you're like, I just want to try something new, I think
that's more reasonable.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, because I've seen the argument
for a long time. If you've been playing for a while, you also know what homebrew to look at, and you have a better eye for this is reasonable or this isn't reasonable.
Yeah, of course,
stuff like that.
Because I've seen the argument of, have you played every race, class, and subclass? And it's like, no, but I don't fucking want to. Like.
I'm not necessarily saying that.
No, I know you're not, but that's a real argument I've seen. People be like, why don't you just play everything before you want homebrew? It's like, because I don't want to.
I do think homebrew gets out of hand. I think people jump to it a little too fast a lot of the time. That's real. But no, I'm not saying you have to play. You know, it's like, it's the thing where it's like, you know, to me, let's say, I don't know, you're like, all right, I want to play, you know, fucking Beast from the X-Men, you know, all right, let's look up let's look up a homebrew race that'll let me play. It's like, no. Rather than doing that, why don't we see if we can like retool the GIF or like maybe, retool a Minotaur or something to get like, and then, we can make like, do like a wizard thing because Beast is big brain, like that kind of stuff is more interesting and to sort of like fiddle and noodle than just running straight into Hackland or Homebrew Land or just like crazy wacky in general, It's just, it makes, what I think of all the time? I think of that Zbashu video where he was like, yeah, my first character was like a half angel man who fell from the heavens in a meteorite. I fucking love that video. It's so good. I literally think of it all the time. He's like, my first character when I was 13, I wanted to play a half angel greatsword wielding like fucking anime protagonist, and I fell from the sky in a meteor, and then the DM said, okay, cool, your character dies, and then handed me a rogue character sheet.
All right, I told you guys that's where my joke, the halfling rogue, comes from, right?
Yeah. Real shit though, I would want to play that character. I want to play the half angel man who fell from the heavens, but is just shell shocked about everything. There's no edge. He's just like, what? You people have to walk. Confused. You need to eat.
God. He's just deeply confused about everything.
Why am I wearing 30 chains as belts? This was a horrible idea.
This is like a bad idea.
It's like, wait, there are other colors other than white? It's like, yeah, what? Next you're gonna say there's like other clothing other than togas? It's like, what? I want to play that half angel man.
That is a very different interpretation.
Yeah.
You telling me because my bits dangling?
You know me.
I gotta be wearing protective gear.
My dream is always to play the edgiest character possible and then de-edgify them. So like, yeah.
De-edgify them. Yeah.
That Christmas cactus going a long way.
It's like that, it's like that story of your one friend who's Isaiah, who's like, I want to play Deadpool. And it's like, that's not really a reasonable request,
Yeah.
It's like, I get it. You're having this wacky idea because you don't really know what D&D is yet. So you're making sort of assumptions about things. But that's why it's like, if you haven't played the game, like just play it the first time. Just play. Honestly, new players, I think what you should do if you're a new player, the shit you should play is like the classics. You should play an elven druid. You should play a human fighter. You should play a halfling rogue. You should play a fucking half-orc barbarian. Like, that is, I think, the best way to start. And I'm not memeing. I'm being 100% dead ass. Like, that is, I think, how you should start when you are a new player. Because that is the sort of, I don't want to say the correct way to play, but like, that is how you're supposed to come into it, right? Like that is supposed to be how the entry is. You're playing Aragorn. You're not playing fucking Ichigo. You know what I mean?